Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to touch upon a real key element to driving the golf ball well that you guys will have heard a lot about, which is hitting up on the golf ball, a positive angle of attack. Most of you will have seen the charts out there, the optimization charts that shows you the gains that are to be had if we hit up on the golf ball. But there is a question from some people that goes, oh, how much is too much? Is there a point where we hit up too much and we actually compromise our delivery? And we're going to dive into a little bit of that today, Michael.
Yep.
You asked me the question the other day, how much is too much?
Yeah, the last couple of days hitting some drives and I was severely up on it, and I feel like maybe it's hindering some distance in my opinion.
Okay, we'll dive into that because I think you're right. I think it will be, and it'll be doing some other things at the same time. So I'm going to throw some things at you that will potentially highlight some of the issues that people may have if they go down the path of hitting it, too much on the upward angle attack. One thing to touch on today, guys, depending on what launch monitor you use, angle of attack can be very different. If you're on a radar, the likelihood is your angle of attack will be a little bit lower than if you are on a foresight. That's purely just measuring different parts of the head. Foresight, we measure the face, versus TrackMan, we measure the center of gravity, the center of the mass. Foresight also measures point of first touch. TrackMan is point of max compression. Those are very, very different times. Okay, so that's why you can see some discrepancies on monitor to monitor. It's not that one is wrong. They are each right to the way they measure that particular metric. Let's see you hitting some, Michael. Okay. First thing I'm going to ask you to do, because I still want to touch upon, we're not here to say do not hit up on the ball. Right. I would like you to make a few swings, actually trying to hit down a little bit on it. Quite a nice drive.
Yeah, good strike.
Quite a nice drive. But the misery in seeing something like that for yourself who's a distance chaser, right? You are looking at that going, get me out of here.
Yeah.
I'm carrying it 227, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Right? So, and that was actually with a slightly positive angle of attack. So we want to see if we can get that down a little bit more, right? Okay. Let's see a few more. Let's get the averages around 0 or even down a little bit. Yep, good one there. Beauty.
There you go, 4-5 down.
Okay, give me a couple more just like that. Okay, Michael, good job. Not easy for somebody who doesn't naturally hit down on it to simulate that. So good effort on that. So let's have a little look at what we saw. 140 ball speed, 10 launch, just shy of 2,900. You were 0.4 down on average, a little bit out to in, face a little bit open to the path. So you were kind of hitting little sort of steep cuts out there.
Yeah.
You made an interesting point. You said a lot of those strikes felt really good.
Yeah, felt, there was a couple heeled shots in there, but they felt very, very like compact. The strike sounded good. It felt good off the face.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a nice feeling.
Definitely. So we have a baseline on the steeper side of things. Okay, so we're going to try and hit some now with more of your natural upward angle attack, a little bit more positive. Where have you seen it recently?
6, 5, 7. The last couple of days have been quite high. Normally I hover around 4. 4 would be kind of my safe number.
But you've been seeing yourself getting a little bit too much. Now, you did say something else to me last night about, I wish I could always hit those high, low spinners.
There was a couple drives last night or yesterday afternoon in the bay where it was like high on the face, 1,600, and the thing carried forever and went forever. I was like, if I could do that every time, I would never need a new driver.
Okay, let's hit a few. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't get a new driver. It's too good.
Michael, I think you've just hit the best drive I've ever seen you hit. I mean, 150 ball speed, almost 260 on the carry. Not that much up in it, so we'll see a few more, see if we do stray a little bit more. A little bit in the toe. Good face to path management.
Spinny. Good miss. Spinny. That's slow. Six two up. Three wood.
Okay. So
I've never hit this thing yet.
Hit 3 of these off the mat for me. Hitter. Okay, 2 more. Beauty. A beauty.
That feels quite good.
All right, Mikey, let's have a little look. So we hit the first one with the negative angle of attack. Very, very minimal, but it was down a little bit.
Yeah.
We hit the second driver with your normal delivery, a 6-degree difference, 5.5 up on it. We threw a little curveball in at the end there and asked you to hit some fairway woods. We were 1.5 up on it and 32. Let's have a look at some of the ball data. So fairway wood was good on dispersion, driver was not good in dispersion.
Yeah.
This is where the conversation goes. This is why too much angle attack can cause too big of a dispersion. Right? We would rather see a little bit less, maybe potential distance, a little bit, not much. We're not asking you to sacrifice an awful lot here, but we never want to see, the strikes living that far out on the toe. We'll take the 3 wood off a second here so we don't confuse the red dots. That's a problem.
Yeah.
No predictability coming out with that. The reason you've got a big discrepancy on left and right is because you have an out to in path, you have a face angle, out to in path, you have a face angle that is also a little left, not as much left,
Right.
but you have a toe strike.
Yeah.
So you've got a compound problem there. Left face and a toe strike is a pull hook.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
And I've seen a couple of those the last couple of days, just working on some stuff, is definitely that I'm living in that low toe, and that's where it's talking about tee height again and trying to trick it or stand a bit closer, and you start thinking about 100 things and it gets confusing.
100%. Guys, when we talk about in our role as fitters, sure, it's great to take care of the numbers and maximize performance, but it's not a game of distance. We're not standing on the grid on the long drive tee trying for 1 in 6, from a set, and that one is the only one that counts. We're trying to lower our scores. We're playing the strokes gained game. We're looking at our data and we're seeing what works for us on the course. We need to try and get Mikey to hit it more like the angle of attack with his downward angle of attack produced a much more centered strike.
Yeah.
We need to somewhat blend the two. We gave you, you know, great numbers, launch numbers off the upward angle of attack, but it gave you too big of a discrepancy.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that first one. It was an absolute beauty. You know, 257, 283. It wasn't that much in the toe, but we got progressively more in the toe as we went on.
Definitely.
Right? And that was, there was the you know, the clue was in that. It wasn't that much up.
Right.
3.9. So I think let's try and work towards a goal of being about 3 up.
Okay.
That would be ideal. So we saw what isn't ideal from an angle of attack standpoint on the negative side. We saw what isn't ideal on the positive side. I actually did some fairway woods because, again, I wanted to kind of show you and show, you know, the viewers what happens when we have one club that has such a departure in the delivery from the other clubs. The ball on the ground, it's not advantageous, obviously, to hit up on the ball when the ball's on the ground. So what that leads to is sort of launch conditions that are somewhat suboptimal. We don't really need a fairway wood off the ground spinning at 2,400. The ball's going to come in and hit whatever its, you know, target is. That's fine if it's going into a fairway. It's no good if it's going into a green or a small target. You know, we then lose control. The land angle becomes far too flat, and it just doesn't really perform as intended. Okay, so that's the other flip side of that. Hitting up in it so much, it's the only club we get to tee up that way, and we have 12 clubs we have to hit down on to a degree. You know, we don't want to take ourselves too far away. Now, I'm not saying that's the right thing for everyone, because there are people who can really separate those two things. I remember the early TrackMan sort of statement of, in golf, we need 2 swings. We need a driver swing and we need a swing for everything else, right? And I still believe in that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try and find that sweet spot of 3 degrees up.
Okay.
Okay, angle, we're going to have the ball position back a little bit. That's the first place we're going to start.
Okay.
And we're also going to aim a fraction more to the right. Different. I could hear the high strike on the head.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it wasn't. Yeah, I was going to say, well, not really. We could stop the video right here, because, you know, there is idea. We can hit our 3 mark on the upward angle attack. We pushed the strike all the way into the center. Absolutely love that. Maxing out efficiency when we do that. Yep, we would wrestle back a little bit of spin for you. We'd do that just through optimization of the driver. But that's you no longer living low in the head.
Right.
Your driver setup right now, it's designed for your good swings, but it's also designed to manage your misses as well.
Yeah.
If your miss is no longer low in the head, we don't need to give you the same driver, same low lofted driver. We would loft up a little bit or give you something with a different CG placement. How'd that strike feel?
Yeah, it felt good.
Okay. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, excellent, excellent job. The difference, and this is not, this is the way we teach our fitters to fit. This is the difference when you work with a fitter who's not just trying to optimize the numbers, they're trying to optimize the player at the same time. Move that strike into the right part of the head. I mean, if we can move any club into that part of the head, it's going to be, you know, a true head-to-head on what's inside that head, what's inside that technology. That was absolutely perfect. A much, much better delivery from angle of attack, path. You know, every which way it was better. Obviously, strike point. You know, is this still the right driver for you when we go over to the ball data? We'd probably say no.
Yeah.
We'd probably say 11.5 and 1700 is not ideal. We can see with your old positive angle attack, that's why that was a good driver for you, because it worked for that delivery. But we know we're never going to play our best golf if we have the strike out there. That's not going to happen. We love this. Now we build on that, right? So that's the difference of what is too much when it comes to angle attack. So a couple of different feels for you there, how much you kind of press into the left leg, when you don't get kind of stuck on your back foot and swing off the back foot. That's how we get the kind of, you know, center of mass moving forward a little bit. One of the ways, there's a few other ways we could do it, but that one worked for you really nicely.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, more lofts going through my head, a couple different options already for a new driver. But when we fit this last year, I mean, it was a little bit different, you know, swing altogether. So, you know, working on to get on the left side is something I've been doing with my irons for the last couple months. It's definitely helped. So just need to transition it to the driver.
It's the driver, yeah. Have the confidence that you can take a little bit of that and you know, and swing over there.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, guys, you know, lots of messaging out there, how advantageous it is to hit up on it. And it is, but we're all about performance. We're all about getting in the fairway. You know, we can see with Mikey's data, if we go back there, he gave up nothing. He gained a yard. So, you know, really, really nothing to kind of shy away from there with you know, not hitting up on it, you know, 5.5 like he was. So 2.5 is plenty. 2.5 to 3 is plenty. Good stuff. Okay, hopefully that spoke to some of you out there that are having that issue, and you know, you always hear the hit up on it, and you do, and you feel like you're not driving it well. Maybe there's a little something in this for you. Managing strike control, making sure you've got the right driver in your hands at all times for your delivery. That's the most important thing. Stay tuned. We will see you again soon.